My friends, I had to go on now because there's so much I want to tell you. So much I want to tell you. So much I want to tell you. So much that's so critical. You need me so much. You need me. Do you hear what I'm saying? You need me. Why do you need me? Because I'm seeing some of the most ridiculous stuff that has nothing to do with anything even approaching rational thinking or critical thinking. I want you to understand how things work. I want you to focus on what needs to be done. For the love of God, listen to me. And a special shout out to my sister, who's a shut-in, who's watching. Her name, it doesn't matter. Let's call her Sophronia. But she's very happy because she just figured out through a lot of occupational therapy how to work her big phone. So anyway, this is for you. I waved at her. Indulge me. My friends, let me tell you a couple of things. This is the show for you. By the way, you can always say hello to her too, in large capital letters and speak slowly. They're watching. Anyway, Mrs. L and I went to a party tonight. It was a party for a 2-year-old. I was a friend of the family. And I thought, okay, this was the most elaborate. The theme was gambling. And what was it? Gambling? No. Casino. 2-year-old. Everybody got a bank. I never saw anything. I'm telling you, I never saw anything like this. It was the greatest party ever. But that's not why I'm telling you this. I talked to two people. One person says to me that his son came to him, 15 years old, and the kid is very upset. He says, "Dad, did you hear about Charlie Kirk?" And my friend, his father, said, I think that's his name, because you have the YouTube feed. He says, "What happened?" He said, "Well, he was shot." He says, "Yes, I know. I know this." He said, "He was a Christian. Dad, he was a Christian. He was a good man." And he's looking at his son like, "Does this matter to you? Does this matter? Is this of concern to you?" He said, "Yes." He was heartbroken. Charlie Kirk brought people together. Next one. Another friend of ours, 25-year-old daughter in law school, younger son. And they've never been really politically active per se. The son said, when his mother, who called him and said, "Excuse me, I'm eructating." That means belching for my sister who's watching. Belching! Borborygmus. Anyway, when the mother mentioned this to the son, he said, "I can't talk. I can't talk now." He said, "Why?" Charlie Kirk. Not that. She said, did it mean so much to you? The daughter, devastated. 15-year-old people in college, people are devastated. Devastated. I'm telling you, you probably knew this. You probably aware of this. I was not aware of this. I understood how critical this was. By the way, Lampwick, thank you, Lampwick. Welcome, new member. Now you're going to say to yourself, another friend of ours, she's sobbing. And I hate to say it, but did you see where the eyelashes were kind of like coming off? Did you see that? They're kind of Cardi B-ish. That's not the point. The point is, you don't know what you've done. Let me say this again. Jacksonville's in the house, Duval County. You don't know what you've done. You don't know what you've done. Let's do a roll call. Where's everybody from? Come on, where are you from? Just give me the town in your state. And don't tell me Ohio. Give me the city, McKeesport, whatever. Give me the name of it to give us the idea of where we are. Because we've got people in Scotland, we've got people all over the world. It is now 10:50 p.m. Saturday night. Normally, this is kind of when I'm getting up to do the show, whatever. Wise lady said it best. The change is coming. Now, I've got some stories for you from, watch my poor sister, she's going to write, Ward 8. Not the room. Don't tell people your room. In any event, I'm watching this stuff. And I'm going to be talking about a number of things. So I want you just to get ready and to really listen carefully to what I'm saying. I cannot tell you enough. Now, listen to me before we begin. And I've been getting a lot of people are talking about this. What's the name of that place again? Preparewithlionel.com. Because before, people are saying, I don't know what's happening here. I'm kind of wondering about this. Believe me when I'm telling you, and the reason why you should be very, very concerned is very, very simply this as well. Something is happening here. Some of it may be good. Some of it may be not so good. Prepare with Lionel. Look, I've been telling you something. Even friends are saying, look, there's something big. And we'll get to that in a moment. Something very, very cataclysmic and tumultuous. This is going to be bigger than George Floyd, Antifa, without rioting in the streets. We'll get to that in a moment. This is a sea change, but this is going to scare a lot of people. You can already feel it. And the world isn't stable now. And things we used to dismiss as impossible are happening right now at levels nobody can understand. Accelerated at levels you can't believe. So what once felt far-fetched 5 years ago is now reality. People are telling me tonight, I don't want to, we don't want to travel across a foreign country. Something's up. This Charlie Kirk, this changed everything. And you're just feeling the rumblings of this. Nothing is safe or protected. Systems that we thought unshakable are fragile. This hasn't hit the fan yet. And when it comes to food, remember, shelves don't stay shocked forever. They're stocked. Trucks don't always roll. One blackout, one strike, one tumult, one storm, one act of violence, and that's it. And the safety net that we now have tarnishes. Now picture this. 1 week. You've got to go 1 week with no real food. Day one, okay. Hey, fasting anyone? I'm not talking snacks, not takeout, but the hard calories and clean water you need when everything shuts down. We watch all these other places from East Palestine to the wildfires to you name it. And let me tell you something. Cash, cards, crypto, even gold, that ain't going to feed you. That's not going to help you. Survival is primal. Food, water, energy, and ammo. Think about this. You think I'm crazy? What am I, Daniel Boone? Call me what you want. Laugh all you want. Please laugh. But do yourself a favor. My Patriot Supplies 3-month food kit gives you everything you need. Over 2,000 calories a day. 22 meal varieties. Delicious. With a shelf life of up to 25 years. Waterproof. Stackable. Set it, forget it. Buy it, forget it until you need it. And for a limited time, they're adding 4 extra weeks. That's a month free, a $247 value at no extra cost. The world has changed, my friend. The stakes are higher. The risks are closer. And what you laughed at 5 years ago is happening now. Don't gamble on hunger. Don't assume the system will be there. Preparation isn't paranoia. It's survival. Click this link on the description level, right under the name, description. Just click that on, go in there, click. It's right there. Preparewithlionel.com. That's our connection. Preparewithlionel.com. These are the deals that we have for you. Go to preparewithlionel.com and lock down your food and your future. Now, let me explain something, a couple of things to you, my friends. This is huge. This is huge. First question. Number one, answer me this. and this is critical that you answer it. Number one, do you believe that this Tyler dude acted alone? Let me say this quickly. Not that he may have had friends with his tranny girlfriend. It's his boyfriend, if it's true. When you hear his girlfriend was transitioning, it's a dude. I'm sorry. Your trans girlfriend is transitioning. It's a male. And a lot of folks figure, you know, I might kind of cotton to that gay thing, but I don't feel good about that. But if it's a trans woman who has a schwanz, a kukuza, hey, I'm not really gay because it's trans. Okay, I'm transitioning into a Swede. This may take a while. I don't want to argue this stuff. And that doesn't make him crazy, but understand something. Why is this important? It's important because it explains the motivation of why he's upset with Charlie Kirk. Let me say this again. This is critical to build your case. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it would be weird for all of a sudden this guy to come up and just shoot Charlie Kirk, call him a fascist, call him this. Charlie Kirk wasn't even, he was just an opinion guy. He wasn't in office. He wasn't Trump. He wasn't one of Trump's people. What are you talking about? But now it makes sense. His girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, we think, if you believe this, what was this, his partner? Don't you love this partner business? His roommate partner was transitioning. This reminds you as well, of the movie plot for Dog Day Afternoon. Remember that? He was robbing the bank. Why? To get money for the sex change operation. This was in 1970, whatever. Granted, we're beyond that here. So now it makes sense. If he writes stuff, trans stuff, as a detective, as a law enforcement dude, I'd say, this looks like agent provocateur, false flag. No. I mean, hey, let's get that bullet. I'm a trans shooter. Here, put that in there. What? I want them to think I'm trans. See, I would look at this and say, no. You might look at it and say, oh, okay, that's great. No. It's too phony baloney for me. Too funny. I don't know. But now we find that if it's true, now it makes sense. So here we go. Question number one. Do you think he acted alone? Not that he didn't have help. That's an accomplice. An accomplice is sort of different. Let me explain this to you. In law, in criminal liability, we have different things. We have regular crimes where it's me, I'm doing it. Then we have inchoate crimes like attempt, solicitation. And then we get into conspiracy. We'll get to that in a moment. I might have somebody drive me there. That, and this is weird, it's an interesting case. And the question a lot of people have is very simply this, because we got to get these names correct. But the question is, what's the difference between a conspiracy or having a co-conspiracy, a conspirator, and an accomplice, a principal in the first degree? What's the difference? See, that's the thing. A principal in the first degree is somebody who is with you. Think of it as the getaway driver. He's charged the same as you, as if he pulled the trigger, or he walked into the bank, or he shot somebody. That's it. He aids, abets, counsels, procures, or hires. That is a principal in the first degree. That's aiding and abetting, okay? A conspiracy is an agreement between two or more people to commit a crime. The crime of conspiracy is complete once the agreement is made, and usually once, or when once at least one overt act is actively taken. Meaning, okay, You and I are going to traffic a kilo of cocaine. Okay? Yeah. Is that enough? Was that enough to bring about this? No. Have we done anything? No, I just said it. You might need a little, maybe take a step forward. But anyway, you can be guilty of a conspiracy even if the actual crime never happened. The agreement is the crime. The agreement is the crime. You understand that? I keep telling, I've got a friend of mine who keeps saying, hey, here's a conspiracy theory. I'm saying, God damn it, it's not a conspiracy theory. A conspiracy theory would be a theory about the this confederation, this agreement. That's not what they mean. Let me say this again to you. A conspiracy means an agreement. The agreement. Not the act, the agreement. It's a weird concept. Well, you got to agree, kind of, sort of, maybe. That's conspiracy. Understand that. Conspiracy theory doesn't mean crazy. It means a theory about the conspiracy, I guess. This is important. A conspirator is someone who joins that agreement. They share the intent and the plan, but may not actually commit the main crime. For example, 3 people, let's say, plan a bank robbery. Even if one goes inside, all 3 can be charged as conspiracy. It's just the agreement. An accomplice is somebody who aids, abets, assists, encourages, counsels, hires the principal in committing the crime. Unlike the conspiracy, this requires the crime to actually happen. Many times, the conspiracy is subsumed. It's absorbed into the crime. Accomplices can be punished. You see, the principal in the first degree is the actor. This is the main guy. The principal in the first degree, this is one who actually carries out the crime, actually goes on, when it pulls the trigger, swings the bat, physically takes the money. In older legal language, a principal in the second degree was someone present at the scene helping, while accessories before, I will get to that moment. Okay, so let me just say something right now. If this person was this trans person, the question is, are they a conspirator? If this Jadrul happened to talk to his friend, the whatever, this his transgender whatever, Gumara, or whatever the phrase. If that's true, then the issue becomes, well, did they actually participate or just know about it? Did they participate? Question number one. Question number one. Question number one. Question number one. If I say, hey, listen, I'm going to be going to this college and I'm going to take out Charlie Kirk with a rifle because I don't like what he said about trans people. Okay? Okay. The person who said okay, what was that? Nothing. Did they make an agreement? No. He just knew about it. He just knew about it. So this trans person might say, well, okay, if all you did was know about it, but then when he was on either the phone or Discord or whatever, that said, hey, pick that rifle up. Pick that rifle up. It's wrapped. Get it out. Help me. Help me. The technical language is you would be an accessory after the fact. You'd be doing something maybe to aid after. Anyway. I don't get too much into the weeds. Now they say this person, this trans person, listen to this, alleged trans, we don't know, is cooperating. If they're cooperating, that means they must be granted immunity. Because I sure as hell, don't you ever cooperate unless you say, wait a minute, you going to charge me with this? Well, I'm not going to cooperate. We've got you good. Well, fine, you got me. I'm not going to cooperate. You make a deal with me. So they say they say that the partner is cooperating. They also say that in order to make the bad guy think they're turning against me. Sometimes it's complete nonsense. Sometimes it's bullshit. And they do it just to, it's like, hey, Tyler, you better, your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, they're talking. So we don't know. We don't know. But here is the thing. I know it was a big deal, but you're smart and you can answer this. You can understand this because I trust you and I'm going to speak with you. This has been about 20 minutes so far, and I'm setting this thing up. I want you to understand that. Now listen to me. Question number 1. Do you believe, not, okay, let me say something, not hint, not guess, not suppose, not, I wouldn't be surprised if MI6, that's not what I mean. No. Do you believe, or do you have evidence that there was somebody involved, that there was a conspiracy or an actual accomplice, somebody who either agreed to this or assisted? Or the question, which is most important, did Tyler act alone? Alone. Do you think he acted alone? Stated differently, do you believe there's only evidence that he acted alone? Stated differently, do you think there's any evidence that anybody else participated in this? Not knew about it, not benefited from it, but participated in it. Israel benefited from 9/11, the argument could be made, because the United States turned its attention to countries from around the world that were viewed as enemies by Israel. So, if the United States now turns its attention to those people, it benefits Israel. That doesn't mean Israel was involved in 9/11. Cui bono, cui prodest, who benefits? It could be Israel, but not as a participant, but just as a beneficiary. If there's 2 pizza places in my town, and one burns down, I benefited from that arson or that fire, even though I had nothing to do with it. So my question is this: do you believe? Do you believe? Now, just now, look at this. Look at this. See what this? Now, Delilah, I love you, hon. I think you're a hon. I'm not sure. Let me read you what she wrote. No, I don't think he acted alone. The lover knows more as well. Okay, but the lover knowing more doesn't mean he didn't act alone. If I'm in a room, John Jolane says, could it be said Tyler was radicalized without a shadow of a doubt? I don't know. Who cares? I mean, with all due respect, radicalized, schmadicalized. Who cares? Whatever. Whatever. That's such a great word. I like groomed. Look at this, or that the internet is the devil's printing press. I've been calling this as a form of Manchurian candidate social media, or MK Ultra social media. You see? You understand this? You follow this? So here's the question. If I'm in a room with people and I say, listen, I want all you to listen, before you go, I'm going out right now. I just want you all to know I'm going to commit a murder tonight with a high-powered rifle, okay? You got that? Okay. And I leave. Again, using what you said, dear friend, they knew this. They knew it. But they weren't involved in it. So my question is there somebody involved? Somebody who got him the gun. Somebody who helped scope out the place. Somebody who did something. Not somebody who knew about it. Because, I'm going to throw a new one at you. Merely knowing that something's going on and you did nothing to stop it, it's called a misprision of felony. MISPRISION. Misprision. Where you You're guilty of not doing something. We don't like that. The only way in our jurisdiction most people are involved in some type of activity when they are not doing something is when they are a mandatory actor. And a mandatory actor means somebody who, let's say, a teacher, a nurse, if they see evidence of physical abuse or whatever, they have a mandatory duty to let people know, to report this. So, yes, they can be charged with misprision. They can be charged because they didn't say anything. Other than that, no. You could look out the window, see your neighbor, see your neighbor's house being burgled. You didn't do anything. Can you be held responsible? No, because you were under no duty. You had no duty to do this. You had no duty to do this. You had nothing. You had no duty to say anything. Nothing. You had no duty. Do you hear what I'm saying? Does this make sense to you? You had no duty whatsoever to say anything. If you're a teacher, it's a different story. Misprision of felony is a federal crime that has been overlooked. Nobody really does it. Yet it carries serious consequences. And it supposedly targets individuals who knew about planned or committed felonies, but deliberately chose silence instead of action. The law has been used against conspirators and gang members, financial criminals. Its enforcement undercovers that willful ignorance or passive complicity is itself prosecutable. It's very difficult. I don't particularly like charging people for something you can do. However, in the civil courtroom, in the civil arena, we have nonfeasance. We have misfeasance, malfeasance, nonfeasance. I didn't do anything. But believe it or not, if I look out the window and I see somebody breaking into my neighbor's house, I do not have any affirmative duty to respond. I don't have to respond. I don't have to respond. I am under no duty, and if I don't call the police, you can't get me for that. You got this? Now, this is also very, very important. Let me explain something which is important. You mentioned the thing about radicalization. And I want people to understand and grasp this, which is very, very, very important. The notion of grasping this notion of this. There's something to be said for these mass collective performative psychoses, as it were. These psychoses. And I find them very interesting. Very, very interesting. Because what's really interesting is the notion of when people are quiet as to what is happening. They don't say anything. You see, this is very important. This is critical. And I want you to understand a couple of terms or things here, which I think are important, because part of this has this wonderful analysis of psychological behaviors and the like. And one of them is this notion of this kind of a group thing. Why do people act accordingly? Why do people act this way? What is this? What is the story? Remember this: mass formation psychosis. What's it called, class? Mass formation psychosis. Mob theory, mob hypotheses, describing when entire populations slip into an irrational group thing. Now, this is different from conversion hysterical reactions where entire towns, get tics and things like that. That's a different story. But mass formation psychosis, all right, MFP, is when entire populations slip into a kind of an irrational group thing. And they abandon reason for emotional conformity. Fear, propaganda, and authority create kind of a hypnotic trance, a trance where lies replace truth. And obedience, yes, obedience is mistaken for safety. History shows it in witch hunts, Nazi rallies, cultural revolutions, Today, endless crises manipulated by media and politicians, and exaggerated and exacerbated by social media platforms, drive the same hysteria. People cheer for policies that enslave them. They cancel dissenters. They mock truth tellers. A nation under mass psychosis cannot self-correct until reality crashes through the illusion. And the question is, who benefits from keeping us terrified? What happens is, when you become a part of the device. I have a friend, by the way. I think we've permanently lost her. She spends her whole time folding clothes. She was a wonderfully talented young lady, talented, bright, had the whole world by the throat. But yet she fell into the social media and she was folding these folding clubs. If you see this, she folds underwear, folds towels, folds napkins, folds tops, sheets. And it's like, what are you doing? Special cardboard designs. She's doing this folding. This is what happens. This, of course, is a far more dangerous version of this. Fred Haddad says, here's a small gift of friendship for your sister from one recluse to another. It's great to feel her presence in the wings. Thank you, my friend. She won't understand what you said, but I'll explain it to her in Esperanto. Naito says, we have been living in the F-around era. I do believe we have now entered the find out, yes, era. Indeed. So let me go back to what we said initially. Do you believe? There's a good one. Assess liberty. Do you believe that he acted alone? Let me answer that question. I have no evidence otherwise. Acted alone, told others. There might have been some type of talk about on Discord. Do you believe there's any evidence of Israel? I know people love that one. Do you believe there's any evidence of Israel? Where is the evidence? Please tell me. You can just say, yeah. Oh, definitely MK Ultra. MK Ultra, was he injected by something? Oh, I don't know. That means a kind of a, well, I think maybe he kind of, you see, because anybody who does this has got to be crazy. I think maybe there's a kind of a, do you believe? Do you believe? What is the evidence? What is the evidence? Tell me. What is the evidence that Israel was involved? Tell me. I'm listening. Because people think like, well, I don't have any evidence, but you know how they are. Oh, sneaky. Well, tell me. Now remember, if there's no evidence, doesn't mean they didn't do it. If I commit a murder and nobody sees it, and I walk around and I say, oh yeah, where's the evidence? You can say, well, there is no evidence. Well, doesn't mean I didn't do it. This means there's no evidence. Netanyahu's reaction tells all. No, Stan. No, it doesn't tell us anything. He's reacting to what? We did it. So what do you think? Is this Tyler? Is this an Israeli agent? Listen, I'm not trying to give Israel a pass. We're not talking about this at all. We are not talking about this at all. My question is, do you believe this? Who benefits? A lot of people benefit. That who benefits in cui bono goes only so far. Motive, but no evidence. Why is there a motive? Why? What is the motive behind Israel doing this? Why? What is the motive? Tell me. Let's assume it's true. What's the motive? You don't need. Why do you think so? Why do you believe? What? Do I believe that Tyler is the shooter? Yeah. Bang. Hey, look. There's a guy on top of the roof. Scamper, scamper, scamper. Drops down, limps away. Hey, who is it? It's Tyler. They got a picture of him. No, unless Tyler says, I didn't do it. Okay. So far, there's now evidence also of he supposedly told friends of his, I'm a pretty good shot. All right. They're kind of working after the fact in that one. By the way, follow up on the allegations made that Cash Patel was at Rayo's the night of the, I don't know, we'll see what happens. Let's see what old Cash is. I think Cash is absolutely, positively incredible. If that happens. Now, a couple of things here. This is important. This is very, very critical for me to tell you this. I'm gonna throw a couple of monkey wrenches into it. You ready for this? Ready for this? Ready for this? Did you see this one? Here we go. This is from Shadow of Ezra. You ever watch Shadow of Ezra? I like Shadow of Ezra. Shadow of Ezra reports Candace Owens and Mike Cernovich are now revealing new details about the pressure Charlie Kirk was under before his death. Okay, first of all, does this in any way exculpate anyone? No. Does this add anyone? Well, let me read it to you. Kirk was reportedly on the verge of losing his last major donor. Last? After refusing demands to ban Tucker Carlson from his events. Many people publicly mourning Charlie Kirk, including some who claim to be his friends, are showing nothing but crocodile tears. Hidden billionaires quietly controlled the flow of money behind the scenes. Candace Owens says that 2 weeks ago, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called Kirk to invite him to Israel, but she says the full context of the call is unclear. And then you have Charlie supposedly saying some pretty tough stuff about Israel and other stuff too. They're asking, this is important, the skiff writes, did Charlie Kirk say too much? And was intelligence or a foreign nation involved because he started to notice and speak up? There was also some talk. Remember this? There was some talk of, I'm really getting tired of these heaven shots. You see the picture of Charlie meeting Rush Limbaugh in heaven. You are Disneyfying God. Hey, look, here's Charlie and Hulk Hogan. Oh, look, what is this? Stop it. Andrew Hessing says, help me, I'm alone and being kept captive by a weasel. I'm kidding, of course. Said, why did we talk in allegedly? His family turned him over to authorities. Is that not an admission of guilt? No. Hello? FBI? Yes. Andrew Hessing just exposed himself before a mannequin at Sears, Bloomingdale's. That's right, Macy's. Yes. I'm turning him in. Did he do that? Oh yes. Andrew Hessing. Yes. Thank you. Now, they pick you up. Isn't that an admission of guilt? No, I called you in. I called it in. I would imagine Tyler would say, these guys they never liked me. I never did anything. But they say, yeah, but what about this? What about these text messages? That might be good. So I don't know. Is that an admission of guilt? That is called hearsay. What? Hearsay, an out-of-court statement made to prove the truth of the matter asserted, but it comes under an exception because it's an admission. And admission is a difference than a confession. You know how that works, right? A confession is a complete and total acknowledgement of every active element of the case. For example, burglary is the entering or remaining in a structure, conveyance, or dwelling with the intent to commit an offense therein. A confession would say, I intended to enter that structure for the purposes of committing armed or committing robbery. That's a confession. An admission would say, I entered that place. An admission is entering one element of the entire confession. The whole totality of the offense is called a confession. John Gillane says, would you hazard a guess that NGOs need artificial life, blood, cash donors to stay alive? Of course. Of course. Absolutely. Very good. Pretty, did you see Cash Patel saying he'd see Charlie Kirk in Valhalla? Did Cash think he worshipped Odin? Touche. I don't know about that. But here's what the story is. Did you hear recently that the story was that Charlie said, they're going to kill me. Israel, I'm afraid Israel's, because they had on, who was that guy? Ed, what's his name, the comedian? Ed Smith or Dave Smith. I haven't seen Dave, but and maybe, I guess the story is that Charlie's going to have Tucker on to talk about Israel. Okay, so stop. Let's assume BB says, okay, I've had enough. What? I've had enough. What are we going to do, sir? Let's wait for some trans guy to shoot him. Or, do we have his number? Yeah, call him up. Tell him now's the time. Give him the code word. The code. The pastrami at the Carnegie is lead. That'll Manchurian candidate his ass, and he'll go into this program. So the question is there any evidence that no? Here's the one that I think. This is the hypothesis. It's kind of boring. He was a smart kid. He had nothing to do with anybody. Nothing. Let me give you this scenario. I'm at the center. I'm at radical shadow government headquarters. Okay, I'm the guy, and I answer the phone. Hello, yes. Hello, yes. Is this the head of the shadow government? Yes, it is. Is this the president? I'm the grand poobah and pay. How can I help you? Did you send some guy, some kind of weirdo who's living with maybe a partner, I don't know, with trans something or other? Did you get him to go to Utah to kill Charlie Kirk? Wait a minute. Who is this? I'd rather not say. And what is this? Did you? No. That's stupid. First of all, Charlie Kirk he's not even a leader of anything, and he just stops talking. I mean, and first of all, that would martyr him. No. Well, why are you saying? Well, it happened. What? It happened? Hang on a second. Who did this? Do we know about this? No. Who did this? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? We're the shadow government. We're the deep state, the police state, the intel state, the shadow government, the ruling class. We're supposed to know this. Sir, this might be a lone wolf. A lone wolf. Or woof, as people say. See you in Valhalla gave me douche chills. Thank you. Do you know how stupid this is? Charlie Kirk is now bigger, badder than anything ever imagined. And they're going to be now saying, you know what? Let me watch that. Let me watch this thing about. I talk to people who don't know what AIPAC is. I know people who don't understand anything about this. So, could that be that could have been a tremendous motivator. They might have said, this is the most stupid thing in the world. Again, what do we have? We got him. This guy, Israel's involved in this. They don't even pick the guy up. They go and say, listen, do me a favor. I want you to shoot this guy on top of it. Now, how you get down, you're on your own. We don't have any ladders. We want you to fall and he didn't know what he was doing. He didn't know that military fall like paratroopers do. You know, you kind of roll. He just felt like boom. That just jars that breaks your ankles, and just stupid as. He never even did any research. Like, how do I fall? He never thought about this. Maybe somebody move the ladder. I have no idea. Then they say maybe that the rifle was down his pants, which is stupid because if it's down his pants, why did he leave it in bushes? Why did he call somebody and say, "Hey, can you get that rifle?" Now again, I'm remember what they say. The old definition of an EEG is standing outside of a stadium, hearing a noise, and guessing what the score is. So I don't know. I'm getting all this stuff. But so far I'm saying there's no evidence other than he acted alone. This guy said, I'm going to impress my girlfriend. As far as being self-radicalized, let me ask you something. This is my favorite. It's MK Ultra, Lionel. Okay. Tell me how that works. Tell me how that works. Tell me how that works. Tell me why you say, I'm curious. Why is this MK Ultra? Why is this MK Ultra? Explain to me, if you could, explain to me how MK Ultra works. When somebody says, that was MK Ultra, how does it work? What do they do? What do they employ? What pieces of evidence or drug? Do they use drugs or what do we do? How does it work? They can't ever tell you that. You say, well, I don't know. Well, you said it was MK Ultra. You said it was brainwashing. They can use drugs, sensory deprivation, hypnosis, electroshock, radiology, sleep deprivation, psychological pressure. We've got declassified documents. We know what happened. So what I'm saying regarding him, what did they do? Ooh, you're going to go and you're going to get that rifle. Ooh, give him the drugs. Hypnosis. Put electrodes around his balls and shock him. That'll get his attention. Make him do this. How does this work? Now, did you hear this story? Listen to this. This one will make you go nuts. It did me. This really bothered me. Dateline, Toronto, the Toronto Sun. Can anyone imagine a teacher showing students as young as 10 the video of Charlie Kirk being murdered by a gunshot to the neck over and over again? The Toronto school district is investigating an allegation that this happened at Scarborough Elementary School. It is just, they made children see this over and over and over. They even have, I think it's like 10 times. Several students from his class went home and complained to their parents, traumatized at witnessing the on-camera death, which they were forced to witness numerous times over. Parents subsequently reached out to school administrators. How sick do you think people are to do this? What do you think is the reason for this? Anything? Any idea? Anything? Anybody? Anybody? Man of Paradox writes, don't know if killer acted alone, only know men will go to great lengths and use worse judgments to please amuse. Thanks for this thing of ours, Lionel. I truly appreciate this thing you call fun. Thank you. Andrew Hessing says, thank you for the legal clarification. Well, thank you. I don't know what this is. Here's the bottom line. And this is the most important thing. This is the most important, the most critical. This is what I want you, this is what I want you to understand. And listen to me. Oh, I love this. Jesuits recruit via the middle school system in Ontario. I don't know what this means. This is bullshit. What was that? Bullshit. You're just heaving piles of shite. There you go. There's a and the stop it. Stop it. What's the matter with you people? The question is, there's no evidence of this. You're going to get him. You don't need. He did this on his own. His girlfriend. There were 350 million people in this country. One of them decided to do this. The craziest people, the people with the pink hair, the people with the studs, they don't do this. People don't do this. It is the rarest of the rare. Don't extrapolate this. MK Ultra. You say that reflexively, like you say USS Liberty or HARP or cognitive dissonance or, you just say these things. You get them to make them a Manchurian candidate takes work. What's that? Is this on? What you send me on messages or email? Oh, I got to go over the email. See, I got to stop and I got to get my thing. Hang on a minute. Send it on text, on a post or a message so I can see that because I got to stop and I got to open up my thing. Let me see. Let me see what we got here. Because I can't, because I'm using the phone as a camera and I can't do that just a minute. Let me see something. All right, I got it right here. I'll open it up. Let me see. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, here we go. This is from the New York Post. Let me read this. Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin, Tyler Robinson, was living with a transgender partner. And when they say partner, does that mean that UK partner? Or does that mean a partner, like a limited partner? Anyway, he was living with a transgender partner who was in the process of transitioning from male to female, meaning he was living with a man. This is according to a law enforcement confirming to the Post. That individual, who has yet to be publicly identified by the authorities, is now fully cooperating with the FBI on the investigation, either because they scared the living bejesus out of this person or granted him immunity, don't really know. The relationship was first reported to Fox News' Brooke Singman. According to public records, Lance Twiggs, 22, resided at the same address where Robinson lived. This is a relative of Twiggs confirmed to the Post that yes, that they were roommates. Okay, so Lance Twiggs, and where did they live per se? The family member who asked not to be identified said Twiggs was the black sheep of their St. George, Utah family, but declined to speculate on a romantic relationship between the two men. She said she didn't know her relative's politics or whether Twiggs was transitioning to become a woman, but added that it wouldn't surprise her. The family member said she knew Twiggs was brought in for questioning by police. The Post observed Saturday that no one was at the $1,800 per month townhouse Robinson and Twiggs were believed to share. A neighbor claimed 2 weeks ago several people driving cars with out-of-state plates were seen going in and out. They did not give off a good vibe. Kirk, 31, was struck in the neck. Do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters in the past 10 years? Ask attendee Hunter Kozak. Did you see this? Attendee. Too many, Kirk replied. Too many. Do you know how many mass shooters have been in America over the past 10 years? Counting or not counting gang violence. This is the turning point person tried to qualify. Kirk was shot immediately after. As a self-professed evangelical Christian, Kirk criticized the goals of the LGBTQ agenda, expressed opposition to same-sex marriage and spoke against this. He recently spoke to a transgender male about the process of transitioning at one of his prove me wrong pop-up questions, which are fine. I'm reading this. I'm looking at this. The FBI is currently looking for a possible motive in a mountain of evidence, which includes a relationship between Robinson and Twiggs. I'm going through this to make sure I don't. Casings found where Kirk was shot bore inscriptions, with one stating, "Hey, fascist, catch." The bullets were fired about 200 yards using a 30-06 Mauser. The message is, I'm reading this carefully. A former co-worker told the Post that Robinson once boasted about his marksmanship and hitting a 450-yard shot. Okay, so let's ask ourselves, what do we have, my friends? What do we have? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. They get him in and they sit there and say, okay, is it Tyler? All right, Tyler, we got you, my friend. And if he says, oh yeah, prove it. Prove I shot him. Right? Let's say I represented Mr. Robinson, which is not going to happen. But if I did, I'd say the same thing. Okay, what do you got? What do you got? Well, I've got these texts that says, hey, can you get that gun? Do you have any text from him that says, I did it? Maybe they do. Do you have anything that says, I did it, I shot him? Do you have anything like that? No. What do you have? Can you pick up the gun? Okay. That's not good. Do you think that's enough for a jury to find him guilty of first-degree murder? Do you think so? I don't know. I don't know. I can't tell you. That's it? He wrote, pick up the gun? Assuming there's nothing more. Who saw him did it? Did he confess to anybody? Is there any evidence? Did we do a paraffin test? Was the gun fired? Did the ballistic, can you get a ballistic? Is there anything to retrieve when it hit, I hate to say when it hit Charlie's neck. Do we have a round taken? Do we have anything? How do you have him doing it? Not that he was there. How do we not know that someone else was there? How do we know that he was a patsy? I don't know. I don't know. So I need a little bit more than, well, he was on top of the roof. Are we sure that was him? I don't know. I think the narrative will say, yeah, of course. But just because you know something doesn't mean you can prove it. What did you have for breakfast this morning? Let's say you had, I don't know, I had an English muffin and an orange juice. Great. Can you prove it? Nope. But that's the way it is. Cui bono. Are we doing that again? Who benefits? How much time do you have? Let me ask you. Who benefits from this? Who? Answer my question. I'm going to answer your question. All right? Somebody answer it. Who benefits? Cui bono, cui prodest. P-R-O-D-E-S-T is the other version of that. Who benefits? Who? Tell me. I like this. Look at this. Harley says, you're falling for this Nick Fuente stuff. They were goipers. You mean groypers, very alt-right, like the traitors who stormed the Capitol. Crazy alt-right. How do you know they were groypers? Who were they? Who were they? Okay, Occam's razor. Occam's razor, of course, is one of these things which is the most important. And I'm glad you brought this up. As you know, you will hear this on a regular basis. And the difference is Occam's razor does not mean to pick the simplest answer. There's also Hickham's. There's a counterpart, Hickham's. But the definition of Occam's razor is always misunderstood. Let me explain. People have been saying this forever, as you know, for the longest time. It's part of our thing. It's what we do. Occam's razor. This is the best part. It was attributed to William of Occam, 14th century friar and philosopher. It does not mean the simplest answer is always right. It means properly, do not multiply entities beyond necessity. In practice, it means don't invent extra causes, extra variables, extra assumptions, if the evidence already explains something. The simplest explanation isn't automatically correct, but the one requiring the fewest unsupported assumption is usually preferable. It does not mean pick the simplest. Again, the one requiring the fewest assumptions. Now, by the way, Hickham's dictum is the counterpart. From medicine, it says patients can have as many diseases as they please. It pushes back against Occam's razor. And what it means is specifically that doctors must remember a patient might have multiple conditions. It could be really complicated. That's Hickham's dictum. So the two play. But Occam's razor does not mean pick the simplest. And by the way, you haven't explained to me why your idea is somehow simpler or what have you. It doesn't work that way. Does that make any sense? It does not work that way. For reasons I shan't understand. That, of course, is cui bono. Thank you, Zero Fox. But, again, you ask this question and I ask you. Who benefits is also not a good idea. A lot of people do. Sparky says, did you miss my super chat about BB? I think I did. I'm sorry, sir. Let me go back. Oh, and I bet you if it's from you, it's going to be good, Sparko. It's going to be good. Let me see. Here we go. Sparky writes, Charlie Kirk had President Trump's ear more than most influencers and was going the way of Candace Owens. BB was concerned, especially when Kirk refused Israel money after years of accepting it. Okay. Interesting. What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? How about this? Right before this happened, Charlie Kirk got on the air and said, damn it, I can't be a pawn of Israel anymore. Baby, I can't be a part of your blood money. I'm going to do everything in my power to stop you. I'm going to put on every anti-Zionist there is. You hear me, baby? You hear me? Okay, let's assume he says that. What happens? Make the Dream comes forward. He says, I'm putting my money on Sparky. It was Israel. Again. Also, the week before that, somebody said to Charlie, Charlie, you son of a bitch, I gave you all this money. This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. Turning point, you lied to me. Week before that, Erica, I'm just saying this to everybody. I hate you. I'm going to get a divorce. Okay. No, so people say things around this. So they did it. They're going to go out, kill him, and turn him into a martyr? They know what everybody's saying. Now you talk about cui bono. Oh my God. Who is destroyed by that? Do you know how stupid that would be? Do you think that if he goes out and he starts to kill people who are anti or pro-Palestinian, Charlie's speaking more in Israel than ever? Again, yes, you're right. And let's say he also started against transgenders. Why are you focusing on what about the transgenders? This guy. Charlie's got this boyfriend, whatever the hell he is, who's about to transition, and Charlie goes out and takes out, probably heard every day, the girlfriend, the boyfriend complaining. It means that's why BB's on U.S. TV a lot lately. No, that means nothing. It means that you're saying the evidence of Israel, the evidence of of either, Tyler being an Israeli agent or, I don't know, some type of a patsy for Israel. Is that what you're saying? You're saying, aha. Why? I gave you, if there were 5 other people who said the same thing, you would say, no. I love when Israel is it. Just like I love when Bill Gates or Epstein or Elon or somebody, any story, I'll go for it. I'll go that way. I will go that way. Bibi is going to be responsible and perhaps maybe found out for killing the most popular, who now, by the way, this guy is, let me tell you who's going to make, Erica is going to make him look like, now she doesn't have his debate skills. He was very good. Let me also tell you something. If I told you, I want you to go and I want you to give a lecture today on electrophoresis, and you say, what the hell is electrophoresis? Just read this. Go give a lecture. All right, I'll read it. Great. Next day, read it again. Electrophoresis. You want me to read this again? Yes, I want you to go in front of all these people. Okay, good. Electrophoresis is a very simple concept. Let's just assume this, and let's say something, and then the next day you do next day, and the next day, and producer, you say, hey, do me a favor. Do me a favor. You don't need those lecture notes. You don't say it again. Hey, you're pretty good. Do it again. After 2 weeks of giving this thing, you're giving lectures on electrophoresis, separating molecules. You don't even know what the hell you're talking about. So when you're Charlie Kirk and you have done nothing but give interviews about transgender, whatever, you're really good. You can go anywhere because that's all you've talked about. Plus, he did a 3-hour podcast. And I know people who never, at this event tonight, everybody's telling me they loved him. Okay. Why in the name of God is Bibi going to do this? Shooter has handlers. Handlers? Good luck. Hey, listen, boy. Yeah, we want you to do this. Good. You think he's going to start talking right now about Israel? They let him live. Why do you let him live? Hey, that's great. Tyler shot our nemesis. Did you kill him? Huh? Did you kill him too? No. You didn't let him live, do you? Oh, yeah, they got him in custody. He's going to spill his guts. They're going to threaten him with the death penalty, and he's going to give us up. Oh, no, he won't. Yes, he will. So not only is Bibi stupid enough to do this, he hires somebody, and he doesn't even kill the person he hires. That makes sense to you? You're just saying this because this is your chance to just unload on Israel. Or some people do it with Bill Gates. You're not making any sense. Nobody has yet to answer my question. Why would you do that? You didn't kill him. If he said, look, let me tell you who did this. It was not my idea. It was Israel or some intermediary. No. Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. I'm saying, my friends, I love a good theory, not a conspiracy theory, but a theory as best as everybody else. But I'm not going to make one up just because I've heard everybody from. Do you hear that? The Amazon book. The Amazon book. Don't you understand this? The Amazon book. There was a book that went up on Amazon, and it said that the shooting of Charlie Kirk, and it came down. What about the shooting the day before? What does that mean? I don't know. Sparky says, seems like Kirk's organizational skill was his best talent. No, it was his speaking, his sincerity, his genius. Excuse me, I am. So anyway, I want you to think about that. Think about that. You're just persisting. You're saying, well, Israel, Israel, enough with it. Well, there was Project Acorn. What? Well, MK Ultra. Well, sometimes, there is that channeling, there isn't it. You're fighting. You're not addressing this. What evidence is there? I don't know. He said this. Okay, fine. How about the trans community is also threatened him? And this isn't Occam's razor. This is somebody who said, I hate the number one proponent of anti-trans theories and the like, and I'm going to get him. Andrew Hessing says, I've had enough of this stuff. Andrew says, as a hunter myself, this is not a difficult shot, but not a preferred one. Shot is 60 to 100 yards. What is scary is he had to be certain, still, and concentrated. And he did it. He did it. Nobody is saying like, what? 600, 1,000 yards? No. And the scope itself, you notice the way it was done. Alex Jones, the best analysis there is, showed that his scope, the scope was extended back too far. Moorman says, Mr. Al, do you ever get to the point where you have heard so much Toro de Caca from so many people you don't have a clue what they're talking about, but you just can't stomach it anymore? After last week, I'm worn out. I do and I don't, because I meet some of the greatest people like you wonderful folks, and it makes it all worthwhile. Like Lampwick, John Jelaine, thank you, Freddie Hubbard, Night Toe, Shmee Mungoer, says you can be pro-America or a leftist. You can't be both. Okay. Andrew Hessing, thank you so much. Sparky D. McKay, Man of Paradox, thank you. Sparky, you were without peer. Zero Fox, thank you as well. Make the dream great. Sparky. Again, Moorman, you were just wonderful. Dear friends, thank you so much. Don't forget, preparewithlionel.com. Preparewithlionel.com. Do it. Go there. Trust me. The link is in the discussion. My friends, you have a wonderful night. We're approaching Sunday. I want to be done. My wife and I are going to try to watch the end of the Charlie Sheen documentary before we pass out, which is what we do. Why? Because we work all the time. Do you ever do overnights on a major national news talk? It's very difficult, but I can do it. Why? Because I'm gifted and I'm empowered by you. All right, dear friends, I love yous. I honestly love you. Have a wonderful and a great night. Don't forget these final words, my friend, as I always say to you. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.